is muted, sir. Voice is not there.
Voice will
Recording.
come. Voice will come. और देखो भैया वॉइस डालो इस पे। हेलो।
Association of Financial Advisors of India Knowledge in association with Resurgent India ICICI Bank presents a virtual seminar on export promotion incentives and schemes. Moderator Mr. K.K. Gupta, Director, Resurgent India Limited. Mr. K.K. Gupta is the Director at Resurgent India Limited, specializing in corporate finance and management consultancy for SMEs as well as large corporations, handling substantial financial transactions. He also serves as a task force member for government MoUs and on the grievance committee at Power Finance Corporation. With a 36-year banking background and a tenure as General Manager at Central Bank of India, he holds degrees in economics and bank management. Key speakers: Mr. Gaurang Vaswada, Trainer, ex-banker and partner, FEX Feen Associates LLP. Mr. Gaurang Vaswada is an ex-banker with 35 years of experience in international trade, finance, and foreign exchange. He has held various positions during his banking career, including that of Chief Dealer Forex and Head of International Division at erstwhile Bank of Rajasthan and as Branch Head, Compliance Manager and Subject Matter Expert, SME, Trade with ICICI Bank. At present, he is actively involved in training for trade and forex related subjects in and out of the banks and advising corporates in matters involving FEMA and RBI guidelines. He is also a resource person for the Indian Institute of Banking and Finance, IIBF, and faculty for FEDAI. Mr. Santosh Pandey, Product Manager, ICICI Bank. He is a commerce graduate, KEB and MBA in Foreign Exchange Business and International Trade. He has more than 15 years of experience in trade and treasury. He has handled corporate relations across various segments and has been associated with ICICI Bank for more than 11 years. He currently holds the position of a product manager with the bank.
Good evening, friends. I am your K.K. Gupta again, your host of this today important program sponsored by the ICICI Bank. That is promotion incentive schemes. We are going to discuss the various subjects under the incentive schemes. What is the roles of Government of India and RBI for providing the incentive and various credit facility to the exporters. We are going to discuss also agencies involved in the foreign trade exports, export promotion schemes by the central government, and export promotion by the state government. Friend, this webinar, last 6 or 7 webinars, it is sponsored by the ICICI Bank. ICICI Bank is a lead in export finance. He is providing the simplified processes and reduce documentations, enhance liquidity and working capital management, mitigate risk through the credit guarantee and insurance, and access to the global market and trade network. Besides providing as usual pre-shipment, post-shipment credit guarantee, the ICICI Bank, so we request our entrepreneurs who are listening to us can avail the services of ICICI Bank. So under the banner of Association for Financial Advisor of India, we are having this 49th webinar under the series. And under the Research in India banners, we have already completed 231 webinars. At this webinar, we have got a registration of more than 500 beside the electronic medias. Main aspect is what are the incentives that has been provided by the government of India. We are talking about the RODEP schemes, that is remissions of duties and taxes on export products. Then we are also talking about the advance authorization scheme, export promotion, capital goods, duty-free imports, and interest equalization schemes. This is extended up to 31st December 24. Market access initiatives, procurement and marketing supply (PMS) scheme, which help our SME sector. There are so many policies which we are having our experts with us. I will not take much time. I will not touch even these policies because we are going to discuss in detail by our Mr. Gaurang, who is a trainer, ex-banker, and partner in Shakespeare Associate LLP. He has more than 35-year experience in international trade and also work as a chief dealer in a leading bank. So he will discuss entire aspect of promotion incentive schemes, which is being provided by the government, whether you are talking about the central government or the state government. We are with us Mr. Santosh Pandey, sir, who is a product manager ICICI Bank. He is also a more than 15-year experience in the banking sector, and he is MBA Foreign Exchange, and he is expert. He will also tell you what are the various facilities in digital banking where you can have export over a digital platform. He will also inform you. So I will not take much time. I am requesting Shri Gaurang Vasudharwada, please give your thought regarding the promotion incentive scheme, and especially the role of the government and state government for giving promotion to the export sector. Gaurang sir, please.
Thank you, K.K. Gupta Sahab, for the introduction. I must thank Association of Financial Analysts, Research in India, and of course ICICI Bank for this opportunity to again come on this forum and talk on a new subject, a subject where maybe a lot of people do not know that what government is doing to promote export, and maybe come on this forum and talk to the exporters, budding exporters, etc. So I'll just share my presentation and then we go from. Is visible, sir?
Yes, visible. Please go ahead.
So it is there. So the topic for the day is overview of export promotion incentives and schemes. What all is being done to promote exports? under the banner of AFI Research in India and ICICI. So we will cover, as Gupta sir said, we will cover what role the government is doing, what are the agencies and departments involved, what about central government departments or the state government departments, and what are the other benefits. So when I talk of other benefits, we will see this long list of benefits which are there and which are not in the forum. And today also I was talking to one of the export promotion councils. They say that people don't want to become members, but they want to then aware of the benefits. So if you are members of certain associations or if you are in touch with certain associations, then we all come to know about what are these schemes and what are the benefits. Why exports? Oh, sorry, what is export? So when we talk of exports, FEMA specifically says that exports is taking goods out of India and or providing services out of India. Now, taking out the goods or providing services not only exports. It must be paid through inward remittances in an approved manner. Now, why this is required? Because we need foreign exchange. We need foreign exchange for our various activities, and that is why this export has been covered under the umbrella of FEMA also. Exports earn foreign exchange, and we all know that without foreign exchange, we will not be able to survive for a day. We have seen those difficult times in 1991, and we have very recently seen the foreign exchange crisis in Sri Lanka and some part of the crisis in Bangladesh and Egypt and all those. Now, why exports? So people say, sir, I was in a seminar day before yesterday when somebody said, sir, we have got so much of problems. We are into domestic business. Why should we export? We will, when we export, we are exporting. One is that whatever surplus is there, we need to export. So we may be very good at certain products. So we will export whatever surpluses are there beyond the requirement here. So suppose some quality of the product is not in demand in India. So we can export that surplus production. And because we need to export, we will increase the production, what is being demanded. Now, what is being demanded is at what product I am best. I will try to grow that product more. I will try to improve the quality, and I will benefit out of the cost benefit there when I do some wholesale production of that particular product. So I am best at what product, and that I need to produce more and then sell more to the world. The other aspect is generation of employment. Now, in 140 crore, even if you say that the employment or unemployment problem is more, the bigger problem is whether we are having a good employment, whether there is a satisfactory employment. So I per se personally feel that export would generate more, the push to export would generate more and more people to come into self-employment, and from there it will lead to generation of more employment. Let us see some more things. Global markets lead to adapt newer technological advances. If I want to export some product to maybe the Asian countries, I may be very good at providing the product which is as per the requirement of India or as per the requirement of the neighboring country. But if same product I want to export to Germany, I will have to adopt newer technological advances. What does this effect gives an effect is that because of that, the product development takes place. Because of that, the quality takes place, and even the Indian community is offered them that better quality of the industry grows. The manufacturing, processing, machining, AI and MSME, etc., everything is growing. You just look back a couple of years back when black and white TVs were imported. When we started bringing in the product development was here. You see the cars. When we started developing our own cars, then people started putting their own plants here. Now we are exporter of cars. All these cars are being manufactured or assembled here in India and being sent abroad. It leads to growth of industry. So industrial development is one aspect. Creating better products for the world. If I want to remain in a European market or a US market or a UK market, or if I want to export something to Japan, I need to definitely produce better products for them. improvement of product line for domestic products. So when I am producing for others, then I will also produce for myself. So if I am producing for myself, then the goods which are of poorer quality will not be in demand. Everybody will demand better quality products. Generating employment, self-employing, and leading to more employment. So this is a chain. One person who is in a job now, if he switches to exports or entrepreneurial undertaking, then once that he has left that job, somebody else will occupy. And another is that he will, in a today or tomorrow or in a year or so, he will employ another person. So it will lead to more employment. Most important, it earns the precious foreign exchange for the country. Why the word precious? The word precious means because we need foreign exchange for the country for our developmental activities for various activities. So what all are there? Need for growth of industry, our import requirements, maybe raw material also, finished goods also, some of the items of machinery also, technology also, equipment also, all these things. Then our major requirement of defense, crude and gold. Can you do without that? No, I don't think even maybe 90% out of 100 will say gold is a must. While I say 100% crude is must, and defense you cannot do without that. You have to upgrade the defense equipment, maybe planes, etc. every a few years. And we are otherwise also we were very backward on that. We have to bring that up to the international. So that's why we need foreign exchange. Now, I will just take you through some of the numbers. What is the status of our export and import? Our exports last year was 437 billion in dollars, and our imports were 677 billion. Is it a trade gap itself of 240 billion dollars? This trade gap means that I am importing more and exporting less. If it is so, then I need to push exports. Even now, in April to August, 5-month period, the gap is 116. 7 more months to go. I think the September data was not there. So even if we extrapolate, then again we are going to land at around $250 billion of gap. We need to bridge that gap. On the services side, we are positive by 162, 70 billion positive in these 5 months. Now we have a target of, if you see the total, our net trade gap of goods and services is 78 negative and 46 negative in this particular 5-month period. Now we have a target of 1,000 billion of goods and 1,000 billion of services by 2030. So to achieve this 2,000 billion target, don't you see that our imports will also grow? We'll have to keep our doors open for imports. Imports also grow. Let us try to bridge this gap of 78 first, and then see that we are self-sufficient for our other requirements also. What does WTO say about incentives? Because now everything is being governed through by WTO. There could be complaints against us. There could be appeals against us if we go against the WTO norms. They have got 3 categories here. One is prohibited subsidies. You cannot allow any direct subsidy for promotion of export. You cannot allow any direct, only except for LDCs, lesser developed countries. I think 44, 45 countries are there. Actionable subsidies. It is not prohibited outright, but they can be set or maintained if they do not cause any adverse effect to other members, if it is not harming others. Now, prohibited subsidies would directly impact others, because if I give direct subsidy, say of 5% on a product, I am making that 5% additional to my exporter, by which he will be able to export at a lesser or a more competitive price than the competitor in Taiwan or in any other country. So that is prohibited. And the third one is the promotional measures. They are there. Trade liberalization, domestic deregulation, etc. You can do it. There is no issue, but it should still not directly be hitting some other competitor. So there are 45 LDCs in the US. You see the nature of countries, what they are. Chad, Mozambique, Uganda, Cameroon, Madagascar, Afghanistan, Myanmar, Nepal, all our neighbors, Haiti, Kiribati. We are not there in this 40. But the thing is that since India is a member of WTO, and we are not a part of LDC, lesser developed countries. We have to abide by these rules. And what does it say? Incentives not in line with WTO regulations, and that's why we had to forego certain incentive schemes in the last foreign trade policy or maybe 2021, because we had in the earlier policy period, we had committed that gradually we will go out of the incentives. So what is there new for us? What incentives against? Incentives are against WTO rules. Foreign trade policy 2023 were fully moved away from incentives to reimbursement of taxes. We have said we will not export taxes. We will reimburse the taxes. There will be no incentive. So maybe 21 itself we announced MEIS, made and manufactured goods exported out of India and services exported out of India. There were directly linked incentives, 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%, 7%, or 8%. They have totally been scrapped now. There is no directly, you export $100, you will get $4 worth of scrip. It is not there now. You cannot give it now. On the other hand, so incentives will directly mean that these are cash flows. You export garments worth $100, you take incentives of $5 immediately upon shipment. If my cost of production is 102, I can use, and I expect government to give me say $5, then I can easily sell it $100 because still I will get $3 benefit out of it. What is it? Undercutting, selling at the price which is even lesser than my cost. So cash flows are directly not permitted. To reduce why cash flows were given? To reduce the overall cost of exporters, making them competitive. So I will say, I will give you 10%, you need not worry about your margin. That is not allowed. So MEIS and MES were fall there, and certain duty-free skips were also linked to that. Now, those schemes which are not considered as incentives, and they are not directly linked to the exportable goods, and they are not treated as cash flows, are permitted within the WTO regime or WTO's charter. We can reimburse the taxes levied on inputs. What does it mean? It means that if on a commodity I have levied directly or indirectly certain taxes, I can reimburse those taxes once you I don't want to export the taxes, I want to export the goods, so taxes can be reimbursed by the government. The government can provide infrastructure support in development, so making smoother roads for you directly. Okay, then providing technical support, developmental activities relating to exports. So maybe promotional measures you can call it, road shows, trade fairs, all those. Let us have a look at some of the central governments. So various bodies are there. Now in foreign trade policy, they have made an announcement that this will not only remain a central government subject. What was there? Before the foreign trade policy 15 to 20, it was only a central government subject. In the policy 15 to 20, they said state government should set up a export promotion body, but they were largely not very active, defunct sort of. But in this foreign trade policy 2023, they have said it has to be all inclusive. Everybody has to contribute to it, and we will see how they have to do it now. So we have got Ministry of Commerce, their Director General Foreign Trade. There is a whole body to have a check or to have the policy matter decisions on the trade side or on behalf of the government. Director General Foreign Trade. Then we have Ministry of Finance. It has got two wings. One is the revenue wing, which is customs, and another is the payment wings, which is RBI. So FEMA and RBI would come under that. Then we have got specific ministries. Textile Ministry is monitoring some growth in the textiles. So they have another scheme which is being monitored and seen by the Ministry of Textiles. And then all other ministries, they will have their own say. They will have their own say. They have their own promotional activities. Everybody does so. Technology does so. Space does so. Defense does so. Pharma does so. Everybody will do something or the other on that. And all these ministries come together and through either the Finance Ministry or through Ministry of Commerce, try to put in some of the incentives or some of the, pardon me, not the incentives, some of the schemes which can push the exports of their own products. What does DGFT, Foreign Trade Policy 2023, say with regard to incentives and schemes? One is the duty exemption scheme. What schemes are there? Advance authorization, duty-free import authorization, duty remission scheme. One is the exemption scheme. You are exemptions for paying duty under advance authorization DFIA. Then remission scheme that will be paid back to you. Duty drawback, RODTAP and ROSTEL. Three schemes are there. RODTAP and ROSTEL. Three schemes are there. We will see what these are. Now, duty-free import of raw material machinery. First is advance authorization. Now, advance authorization is applicable to manufacturers and merchant exporters where I know that whatever I am manufacturing is containing certain raw material which I need to import. So on an annual basis, I will approach DGFT and tell them, sir, this is the commodity or this is the chemical which I am using, goods which I am exporting. There, this is the value of that, which is used, $20 worth of imported material is used for an export of $100. So I need not pay import duty on that because ultimately I am exporting. It will impact my cash flow. So to get a better cash flow, I go in for an advance authorization and then get the imported goods as the declarations without payment of import duty. So open to various sectors, excluding gems and jewelry is not covered, but all other various sectors are there. Raw material used for manufacturing exportable goods. If I am importing some raw material for manufacturing of exportable goods, I am allowed to go under that advance authorization scheme. There are standard input-output norms. Standard products, what I am manufacturing, there are standard norms that under, say, $100 worth goods, what is the input required of a raw material which I need to input? So standard norms. There are also ad hoc norms. If there are hundreds of SIOMs, if I do not fit there and if I differ from their version, then I can always go to the maybe advanced authorization committee is there. There they can approve ad hoc norms also for me. To be applied before import of raw material and on an annual requirement basis. I will get an authorization, maybe it's a sort of license you can call it, and I can import certain, say, tons of a particular chemical on an annual basis without payment of that, and by way of my proof of exporting those commodities, where I will declare advance authorization number in the shipping bill itself. I will prove to the government that I have exported the same commodity, so there is no need to pay duty now. Now, this is giving benefit to me on cash flow about the duty to be paid or import duty to be paid on that raw material. The other scheme is duty-free import authorization. Same eligibility, merchant exporters and manufacturer exporters. Now, this is only where sign norms apply, but I have not taken a prior approval. Where I was exporting a commodity, the manufacturer told that this has got a 20% component of the import of imported item, and we have already paid duty on that. So now you can apply for DFIA. So at the time of filing of shipment or the shipping bill, I will declare this. Value addition norms will apply. So minimum 20% is there. So the value addition norms will in advance authorization. Standard input-output norms are there. Here the valuation norms will apply depending on the commodity, what is being imported and what is being exported. To be applied after export. And by way of that authorization, since I have already paid the duty, I will not get the refund, but I will get the duty credit skips, which can be used for subsequent payment of duty when I am importing subsequently for that particular item or any other. There is an export promotion capital goods scheme. Chapter 5 of the current trade policy, EPCGs. Now, EPCG is for import of capital goods. Capital goods to be used for manufacture of exportable goods. There is an export of. So, suppose I import 1 crore worth of machinery. This 1 crore worth of machinery might be having 30% of the duty. So, it's a 30 lakh rupees duty which I have to pay. Now, what the government says, that whatever duty you are saving, I will not levy a duty. I will give an EPCG license or a permit. You don't pay the duty. But in the 6 years subsequent to the approval, you should export goods 6 times of the duty saved. So I will be, by exporting 1 crore 50 lakhs worth of, in the next 6 years, I will be saving the duty of 30%, which I would have otherwise paid. So there is an export obligation linked to the duty saved here. Now, the current policy, what it has said? It has said that if I have a 1.5 crores worth of export to be made as an export obligation, if I do 75% of the EO in less than 50% time, maybe in 3 years, if I do 75%, then the balance can be condoned. I will not ask for the balance, whether you do it or not. There is an actual user condition for the machinery, but the export of goods can be done, and goods can be manufactured by the importer or their importer supporting units also. For green tech products, or the goods manufactured in for the units located in various states, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Sikkim, Ladakh, etc. There are different export obligations there. Green products 75%. So if this machinery is being put up at for some green technology product to be exported, then instead of 1 crore 50 lakhs, 75% of that is the EO. And if the unit is being put up at Ladakh, Tripura, Sikkim, etc., then only 25% of the EO should be given. Deemed exports, Chapter 7 of Foreign Trade Policy, to give a level playing field. Now, what is happening? A lot of our industries are manufacturing that quality products that we can compete with those who are supplying from abroad. So those transactions in which goods supplied do not leave the country, and payment for such supplies is received either in Indian rupees or in free foreign exchange, subject to certain conditions. Now, what if something is being manufactured by a supplier, supply by the manufactured, supply of goods under advance authorization? Now, advance authorization is what? Advance authorization is your permit to import. Instead of importing, I am able to get a supplier here in India who is giving the same quality of the product. I am saving foreign exchange by not importing that particular 20% component. So the other party who is supplying, let him get the benefit of export out of it. Supply of goods to EOU, STP, ESTP, because this EOU, STP, ESTP, and HZ, they have got their dharma as export. Their dharma is export. So ultimately, if I am supplying raw material to SEZ unit, or maybe an electronic component to EHTP, then ultimately that component is going to be fitted in some machinery and it will go out, or some other product which will go out. So even that it will be treated as a deemed export. Supply of capital goods against CPCP authorization is also covered here. Let us see some more. Supply of by main or subcontractors, even subcontractors who are doing this job. Supply of goods to projects financed by multilateral, bilateral agencies, funds as notified by Department of Economic Affairs, subject to certain conditions. Even that. So if there is maybe this your bullet train project is going on, that bullet train project where it is being financed by multilateral and bilateral agencies from Japan. Now, since the money is coming from Japan and a contractor here in India provides rails or provides bogies or provides even the electrical poles or even providing cement, I would say, everything will be covered under this deemed export because it has been approved by DA firstly and the money is coming from abroad. Supply and installation of goods and equipment, single responsibility on the turnkey projects. So wherever turnkey projects are being done, which are being financed by multilateral agencies. So even this project would come under this particular sub-para. Supplied covered in this para shall be under the international competitive bidding. Now, for putting up a larger plant, maybe a gasification plant, there is an international competitive bidding. If the World Bank project is there, you have to have an international competitive bidding. Now, in that bidding, several other countries, manufacturers from several other countries may participate. But suppose Siemens in India or BHEL get an order, then that also supply will be considered as deemed export. Now, deemed exports shall be eligible for any. I'll just blow out this once. I'll read out what is there in yellow. Deemed exports shall be eligible for any or all of the following benefits in respect of manufacture and supply of goods, qualifying as deemed export subject to the terms and conditions. Deemed export drawback, refund of terminal excise duty, advance authorization for further import, etc. will be given to you. Now, trade facility schemes are there as per Chapter 1 of Foreign Trade Policy 2023. What is the objective? Objective is to recognize such exporter firms as business leaders who have excelled in international trade. Now they are promoting trade out of India. They are doing trade out of India, and by that way, they are contributing to the foreign trade and earning foreign exchange for the country. What is it? Status holders are expected to not only contribute to, so status holders are there. Now, status holders means you have been given a badge. Star Export House 1, Star Export House 2, 3, 4, and 5. So they contribute towards the export, but also provide guidance and handholding to new entrepreneurs. Everybody looks at the export houses. Say Tata Sons for that matter. The smaller ones will look at that. They're the export house. Okay. Then you have all the exporter of goods and services and technology having an IC on the date of application are eligible for that. Let us see what is the criteria. The criteria for one's export house. Now, this is in the previous policy. What this policy has done, except for Star 1, they have reduced everything here. Now, with a $15 million FOB relation in the previous years, previous 2 years, you can get 2-star export house, 3-star export house at 54 at 200 and 5-star at 80. And there is a double weightage for 1 star for MSME units manufacturing in with ISO BIS certification units in Northeast, Sikkim, K&K, and Agri export zones. So instead of $3 million, if there is a $1.5 million FOB realization in the previous 2 years, then I can get a 1-star export house certificate also from the DGFT Ministry of Commerce. What privileges are there? Authorization of customs clearance in export and import. So on the self-declaration basis, input-output norms. If I apply for SIO, ad hoc SIO, then 60 days is the maximum time given there. Exemption from furnishing bank guarantee under certain schemes. Exemption from compulsory negotiated. Now the documents to be sent through bank, FEMA RBI condition, that is waived. So original documents can be sent directly by status holders to the foreign buyers, and then copies can be submitted. So that is the benefit there. Then 2-star and above export houses shall be permitted to establish export warehouse. Now, when you are eligible to have an export warehouse abroad, and if you have an export warehouse, and if you are exporting through that, you get more or longer period to realize export bills. The normal export relation period is 9 months. If it is through export warehouse, then it is 15 months. Status holder would be entitled to preferential treatment and priority in handling of the consignment at the concerned agency. So by other concerned agencies, including customs, port authorities will give the priority in clearing the consignments. There is an obligation given to them, skilling and mentorship. What is it? Skilling and mentorship, they say, we are from $437 billion of goods and maybe $250 billion of services. We want to go to 2,000 billion of export by 2030. 6 years only with us now. How much number of persons will be required? Should be aware about these guidelines, about the processes, about manufacturing, about the clearances, about DGFT, about custom clearance, about other countries' requirements, about banking requirements, EBRC, bill closure, EDPMS, etc. We will require a good workforce for that. And because of that, they have made this, the status holders as partners now. What partners? To improve the trade ecosystem by enhancing the availing skilling opportunities, status holders are being made partners to provide mentoring and training. So now they have been given this responsibility. What is it? That every 2-star export house will train 5 persons or mentor 5 persons every year. 3-star 10, 4-star 20, and 5-star 50. Now, there was a program run by FIU where we saw some 350 people registered through various the status holders for training. And we had 2 batches. Now, I think the 3rd batch is likely to be announced sometime in the month of, December, where it is a total 2 months program. The 6 weeks, 7 weeks program where everything is being taught to them. Now they are also trying to take this to the other levels of maybe the branch visits, bank visits, DGFT visit, customs visit, port visit, etc. So we will need more number of people. This is one initiated by the government. Department of Revenue scheme is reimbursement of taxes by way of duty drawback. Customs and central excise refunded on goods exported, goods imported in India and then exported. So whatever raw material, etc., is there, automatic refunds are there upon filing of shipping. GST, IGST refunds, they are either if you have already paid, then you can take the refund after filing of shipping bill or under the LUT. So once your payment is received, under the LUT also you can export it. Road TAP, another scheme. Road TAP is reimbursement of taxes, rebate and duties and taxes on exported products. Some 8,555 tariff lines, 4 digits are there, and it has replaced the MEIS administered earlier, launched as an incentive, which was against the WTO ban. Now, this is applied to marine, leather, gems and jewelry, agriculture, automobile, etc. 0.3 to 3.9% on the FOB value. So they have calculated. This is not a direct tax. This is something which I am paying indirectly. Maybe when I use a truck, I use a diesel. On that diesel, certain duties are there. Now, that duties cannot be computed separately. So, industry-wise, they have done certain studies based on the feedback received from specific industries and calculated this 0.3 to 3.9. And I think this is again going to be reviewed sometime. Rostel. Rostel is another scheme which is run by Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Textile. Rebate of state and central taxes. So earlier there was a ROSL scheme which only refunded state taxes. Now Rostel includes the central and state levies, where particularly applicable for garments and mediums. So garments, there is a refund of duties of 1.5 to 1.70, and for mediums 1.4 to 2.20. That is being refunded by the Ministry of Finance. There is an additional facility for textiles. Then participatory promotion. This policy itself has brought in state level export promotion council. There are district level export promotion councils. Then district level export promotion plans are being made where the collector is responsible for those plans, and these district level plans are being then monitored by DGFT official in the particular state. So largely all states will have a joint DGFT level official. Now, there is another scheme which is there, district as an exporter. So they want to create awareness about the exportable commodities. And I know of the Ministry of Agriculture, for all 765 plus districts, they have pointed out each district with one or two of the agri produces, what they can do, what they can produce, and they can do it. So the passing of knowledge, creating new ideas, support, infra support, etc., are being all given at the district level. And now government is also announced that they will be doing some 50 export e-commerce zones, where all in all, the e-commerce hubs will be there in different zones, which they will be providing even the first mile and last mile services at the same place. So everybody will be there. The logistic partner, the banking partner, the e-commerce hub partner, everything will be there available, and the government will be there to see. So the movement of the goods, the packaging, etc., will be simplified here. Increasing the role of missions and embassies. The embassies and missions abroad, they were only maybe the governmental job what they were doing. So now they are being also used to promote exports, and now for each of the trade fair which is being organized by the export promotion bodies, they are one of the participants there. So they also do the buyer-seller meet at the missions and the embassies now. What other promotional activities the government does is the creating infrastructure, ports, terminals, inland container depots. We have some 42 or 44 inland container depots which provide the linkage between the non-sea-based ports, the port towns, I should say, and the remote. So we have one in Jodhpur, one in Jaipur, we will have one in Ahmedabad, one in Surat, etc., where the port towns are not there. Then incubation hubs, rebates on government charges, rebates on export promotion. One second. Then funding supports, interest subsidies, rebates are there, and the various recognition to exporters on the state level or the national. State government, what do? They have to create infrastructures, largely industrial hubs, export clusters, e-commerce zones. Then SEZs, we have got SEZs set up by states, Jaipur, Moradabad, Indore, Chandigarh, DR, they have been set up by states itself. Now they are also promoting partnership based. Maybe government and the private parties come together. So Mahindra is one, Wipro is one, Infosys is another. All these are private partnership. Then rebate in electricity and water duties wherever required. Employment-linked incentives are there. Concessional loans to the state financial institutions and interest rebates. These are state government given benefits given. Now, the central government also has maybe certain schemes where they feel that if you are the remote places are maybe some smooth transition time is given. So your transition from say Moradabad to Nhava Sheva should reduce, or from say Jodhpur to Kandla should reduce. So there is a Gati Shakti corridor, reducing time to reach port towns. Dedicated freight corridor. So Concord trains are there almost from all ICDs. Inland container depots 44. 28 foreign post offices were there till now. From the last policy, they started that we will link it with Dak Niryat Kendra. So now more than 1,000 Dak Niryat Kendra there. Now earlier there, this 28 were there. Only Delhi, only one Dak, what you call FPO, foreign post office was there. Now there are 25 other post offices around Delhi, which do the first mile pickup for the exporters. So the exporter is not required to go to Gold Dak Khana. They can give it at Noida, they can give it at any other place, even Dwarka or any other place where the major or the larger post offices will have a desk, and this is all online now done through a software which is I think provided by TCS. Development of port terminals and infrastructure. Some more schemes are there. There is a trade e-connect platform. On this platform, if you register, you will be able to find out all the information relating to exports here. So e-connect platform. Then there is a common digital platform for certificate of origin. Now, certificate of origin is a must when we are sending goods abroad, and particularly more so we require under the foreign trade policies. So, the agreements which we do with the other countries. So there we need a preferential. Now, for preferential only VGF is authorized, and they have a link with all other export bodies also. Self-certification of EBRC through DGFT. So this bottleneck that EBRC was not issued or it was getting delayed at the banks, now it has been taken care. While on the other hand, the submission of documents to banks is still required. Then there is a market access initiative. And the interest subvention scheme. So, say our colleague Santosh Pandey from bank, then he will give more detailed information on the IAS. I just skip that. And the market initiative is what? Marketing of the project approach, capacity building, foreign trade facilitation, support for studies, development, etc. There is a market initiative. What do we do? Reimbursement and rebate in cost of stalls at overseas exhibition. Reimbursement of airfare, concessional incidental expenses. Bulk booking at overseas shows, buyer-seller meet in India and abroad. And I know very distinctly, I think November EEPC is having one large show in Coimbatore where they are bringing more than 200 foreign buyers to India. While the Indian participants will have their own stalls there, but EEPC is arranging to bring more than 200 people from abroad who will be buying variety of products. And engineering is such a large subject that you know that it will be very difficult for each of the segments. They are trying to bring in some buyers here to India. So buyer-seller meets are there. Now we have now pushed our paddle on this free trade agreements of comprehensive. So the latest ones being India, UAE, SEPA, India, Australia, CESA. 2013 we have Afghanistan, 11 we have Japan, Sri Lanka. All these are now under review. Bhutan with 16. Then the multilateral arrangements where multiple countries are there. So we have ASEAN, Asia Pacific, Mercosur, all those are there. And recently we also saw that some of the Eastern European countries they are included. So one group when we get 6, 7, 8 countries also. And global system of trade preferences, 89 onwards, we have been reviewing this policy, which is getting us 7. So in more than 100 countries now, we have some or the other treaty where Indian goods are welcome. We get benefits of no import duty or reduced import duty there, and that calls for a push on the exports. So last, maybe 1 or 2 more slides. Why export? export is required for the country, so I must export for my country. Is the first. But going beyond that, for myself also, can I stop using diesel or petrol? Can I stop using an imported watch or a car which has got imported component? Hard produced in India, but 40% of it is still imported. Can I use some TV which does not have an imported component? Even the solar cells in the solar panels, etc. Everything chips are being imported. Can I stop that? No. Can I stop buying of gold? No. Can I ask that I will be self-sufficient? I don't want defense. No. For myself also, I want this to be done. So firstly, for my country, because for the major requirements of development, crude, gold, and defense, and for myself. Various incentives and various schemes are there. District One product, Startup India, Digital India, Made in India, District as Export Hub, Atmanirbhar Bharat. Every time, every 6 months, every year, a new scheme is being launched to bring more and more people into this bandwagon of exports. What is our goal now? Our goal is to reach $1,000 billion of export of goods by 2030. Added to this is export of services. The growth rate of export of services more or it is faster than the export of goods. Still, similar targets have been kept. So one is 437 to 1,000, another is 255 or 260 to 1,000. 2,000 billion worth of exports we need to achieve. And when we achieve this 2,000 billion, we are roughly what less than or around 2% of the global trade now. We will be 4 and 3.5 to 4%. So thank you very much and happy exporting. So this is a festive season beginning now. Gupta sir already said that he is in Delhi for Diwali related activities and he'll be traveling again more there. So happy Deepavali and happy facilities. These are my details for contact. If anybody wants to maybe connect with me for any of your requirement on export, FEMA, RBI guidelines, etc., you can always connect with me. Thank you once again. AFI, Resurgent India, and ICICI for this birthday. So I close my presentation here. Thank you.
Thank you, Gaurang Sahib. I think you have taught very nicely. What we have mentioned, the foreign trade policy of 2023 have 4 pillars, what we are talking about.
Yes, sir.
That is a shifting incentive to remissions. This is one issue. Another thing, we are talking about the refund excise duty instead of offering any subsidy for that. Third important aspect is simplifying the benefit for exporters. And fourth important issue is improving the logistic efficiency. I think these are the 4 pillars in the whole trading policy. Major aspect of what we are talking here, the export proportion capital goods. But we are talking about the EPC, duty-free import. Whether Gaurang Sahib, this is a duty-free, whether you have to pay duty, then you get the refund, or it is a duty-free. You can have some authorization, free authorization, and not to pay any duty. You can explain that things because some people have doubt on that. They know they use to pay any duty now. It is duty-free. Okay. Only you have to 6 times of the duty exemption you have to give any export. What you are talking about? This effect?
Yes, sir. So what happens? There are both these schemes there. Sometimes I know that I will be exporting and I am importing certain items. So on that, I can always go for an advance authorization. But suppose I get an order for some commodity which is being manufactured by somebody else, and then I come to know that I will be. So the advance authorization will give me a cash flow benefit. Only subsequent to export, when I come to know that this has got a 10% component, which was imported earlier by the manufacturer, then I can always go to the government and ask for a refund for that. So both schemes are going parallel. Merchant exporters largely would go for the reimbursement path. But the manufacturers, since they know that I am going to export this product, they go for an advance authorization.
Very nice. I think this is a clarification. Thank you very much. Now I'm coming to Shri Santosh Pandey sir, who is a product manager ICICI. ICICI Bank, as I already told you, is giving a foreign exchange solutions to the exporters. Either we talk about the currency conversations, ICICI Bank offer competitive exchange rate for the export-related transactions. Then second point is forward contract, which people are asking. ICICI Bank also provide hedging solution to manage the currency fluctuations. An important aspect, what we are talking about, the export can also use ICICI Bank online platform, trade online for foreign exchange transactions. So I will not stand between you and Mr. Santosh Pandey, sir. Santosh Pandey ji, I tried to explain about the ICICI Bank. Please tell our exporter how it is beneficial to deal with the ICICI Bank. So I hand over to Mr. Pandey, sir. Pandey. Yes, Pandey, sir, please carry on. अनम्यूट कीजिए पांडे सर, अपना अनम्यूट कर लीजिए. हाँ, प्लीज प्लीज कैरी ऑन. अनम्यूट कीजिए, म्यूट हो गया फिर आपका.
Yeah, I'm audible now.
Audible, sir, audible. Please carry on.
Thanks. You all can see my screen, right?
Yes, it is visual. It is visual.
Yes, correct. So before going to the core topic of export finance and the in export incentives as such for exporters, let's understand about exports from India and the MSME contribution. What has been there from our exporters who are MSMEs basically. So we can see here in the first quartile the exports has not grown much in FY24, which is the last financial year, as compared to FY23. So there's been hardly a percent increase in the overall exports. We can see from $770 billion of exports in FY23, we have moved to $777 billion dollars of export in FY24. Now, this is inclusive of service exports. So this is service and goods export, both as such, both have contributed over here. But the major pie has been of service exports in this. So I think I can say service exports has been our savior in terms of exports from India in FY24. Now, in FY25, what the Federation of Indian Export Organization is estimating is $900 billion of exports from India. Now, the major sectors who have contributed for this particular growth, we can see here it's the engineering goods which is leading, followed by the petroleum products, gems and jewelry, chemical, pharma, and no doubt the service sector, which is the IT, ITS sector as such. So the contribution of MSMEs in the overall exports of India has been 45.83%. So which is quite significant as compared to the contribution of the large sector over here. And what the government is targeting is $1 trillion of worth exports from the MSME space till 2027 as such. And within the MSME space, we can see the micro enterprises is leading with 97.7% share. So out of the total MSME space, we have more and more of micro enterprises which are being registered under the MSME category as such. So export finance market as such in India, we can say is 2,17,000 crore that is outstanding as of year 31st March 2024, and ICICI Bank is having 6 to 7% of share, which has grown from 2.5-3% for the last 2 years as such. So we move on to ICICI Bank. So before moving on to export finance from bank, let's understand what ICICI Bank is. So as you can see in your slide, we have 60 years of lineage and the vintage with in India as such at over 23 trillion of assets in India. Branches as such, if you ask me, it is 6,500 plus branches as of 31st March 2024. 17,000 ATMs. We have our interest and stakes in all these entities. ICICI Prudential, which is our asset management company, which is handling the mutual fund business for us. We have our stake over here, which is the leading MNC. ICICI Lombard, which is the fourth largest general insurance company, we have our stakes over here. ICICI Venture, which is the largest alternative asset management companies, it's our subsidiary. ICICI Securities, which is a leading brokerage house in India, we are stakeholders over here. And last but not least, the ICICI Prudential Life Insurance Company, which is the first life insurance company to do it listed on the NSE and BSE as such. So we have our enough stake in this entity as well. Yeah. So we move ahead. Yes, much talked about interest equalization scheme for export credit in INR. As you can see here, this is for INR. So packing credit in INR is covered here. Post shipment credit in INR is covered here. So it is not for PCFC. It is not for packing credit in foreign currency. It is only and only for loan for exporters who are taking the loans in INR, we should come under the head of packing credit or post shipment finance as such. Now let's see the history of this particular scheme. So in way back in prior to 2015, we have found exporters who are not doing well due to stagnant global demand as such, the extended credit period as such. They were told that they will be given the monies in probably 90 days, but then it took 120 days, 180 days for them to get the money from the importers abroad. So these were the issues what they were facing, and also the interest costs were high. The central government at that point in time, which was the recently elected the government in 2014, took a step forward, and they came out with this particular scheme, which is called as interest equalization scheme in 2015 as such. So this scheme was doing well. We had 5% interest subvention at that point in time, and then there were some revisions in this scheme. In 2021, the scheme was having a pause because of the COVID issue. And so we have restarted this particular scheme. So RBI has restarted this particular scheme with the help of the Government of India in March 8, 2022 as such. And at present, as per the recent circular from the regulator, this scheme is extended now till 31st of December 2024. Now let's see whom this particular scheme is applicable. So this scheme is applicable for an exporter who is registered as an MSME, and he is a manufacturer. So his primary activity in the Udyam your registration certificate should be a manufacturer. He should be categorized as a manufacturer as a primary activity in his Udyam registration your certificate as such, and so he should be an MSME. So over here, this particular exporter gets 3% interest subvention benefit. That means if a bank is charging him, say, 9%, he gets 3% back from the bank. Bank means from the government. And as per the recent DGFT trade notice as such, as on your 30th of September 2024, maximum cap has been levied on the total subvention received by such exporters, and that capping is INR 50 lakhs per IC certificate. So per exporter, he or she gets maximum subvention of INR 50 lakhs for FY25. That means this financial year, he cannot or she cannot get subvention beyond 50 lakhs of rupees. I'll repeat, any exporter who has availed this particular scheme, he should be a yeah, MSME and manufacturer. Such exporters get interest subvention scheme of 3%, and that particular subvention amount should not cross INR 50 lakhs per IC for FY25. That means if any exporter has already received 50 lakhs till 30th of September or till October, he will not be getting any further interest subvention benefit from the government of India. So this is as per the trade notice which we have received from DGFT. It is trade notice number 18 as such. Now, as I mentioned, this particular scheme is not applicable for foreign currency packing credit and post-shipment finance. It is only and only for rupee export credit, that is rupee packing credit and rupee post-shipment finance as such. Now, there is a notion that this scheme is only applicable to pre-shipment finance, or that is packing credit. So I like to re-clarify this, that this scheme is also applicable for post-shipment finance or discounting transaction. Suppose you get a bill from you are an exporter and you have raised a bill to an importer abroad for say 90 day of as a credit period, then you can very well come to ICICI Bank, take the discounting, you will be charged the interest, whatever interest has been charged to you, and you will be getting the credit of the interest subvention scheme if that particular discounting is in INR as such. Right now, very important is how do we pass on this benefit to you? So to pass on this particular benefit to you, we debit the interest which is contracted with you. Suppose you have been given a rate of interest in your sanction letter, say 9%. So we charge 9% to you on a monthly basis. Suppose you have been, you have taken a packing credit of 1 CR, and you have this particular packing credit for 90 days. So we will charge you 9% for 90 days. And this particular interest is not taken at the end of 90 days. It is taken on a monthly basis from you. So whenever we will deduct 9%, on the same day, we credit 3% if you are MSME, manufacturer, and exporter. It is passed on the same day. There is no time lag involved over here. Whenever there is a debit of interest, there will be a credit of interest in your bank accounts. This is for pre-shipment, that is packing credit. But for post-shipment transaction, for discounting transaction as such, whenever the discounting is done, entire interest for that entire period gets debited from your account on the day the discounting takes place. On the same day, your current account gets accredited with the interest subvention amount as such for post-shipment finance. Right? So this is how this particular scheme is getting worked. And what we need from you, is a unique identification number acknowledgement copy, which you have to generate from DGFT. Then there are other documents which you have to fill from ICICI Bank side. But what we need from you is a UIN, that is the unique identification number acknowledgement copy as such, and your URC, that is Udyam registration certificate. These two are the important documents which we need from you, which is issued by the regulators as such. We move ahead on this. Yes. So very important point over here is basically as Gupta sir was mentioning about a digital side of ICICI Bank and how we are supporting our exporters on the digital side. Look, the major issue what our exporters are facing, or we can say entire India, why to limit myself only to ICICI Bank, but to all the banks actually. What customers are facing at this point in time is the export bill regularization or BRC generation. BRC generation is a major issue. So the issues what we have seen as per our experience, the customers are facing the issue of untraceable documents. Documents were there, but now they have been lost. Pending bills, reconciliation issues with the EDPMS, bulk or courier or regulation issues as such. So how we try to manage this, how we try to kill these particular issues is that we have AD transfer request to trade online. We have bulk regulation facility for uploading your shipping bills. We have a common portal which is shared with the customer and the bank staff that is called as a trade online portal as such. Now, how do we do it? It is a plain match the column system. So you have your inward remittance. You can see your inward remittance on trade online system of ICICI Bank. You can also see your shipping bills on the same platform. Why you can see it on the same platform as such? Because we have integrated our services with EDPMS. We immediately get whatever is your shipping activity on the right hand side. On the left hand side, you have inward remittance. Whatever inward remittance you have done in ICICI Bank, you will get the details of it. You just have to do match the column, and that's it. This is how the bill gets regularized. This is how your inward remittance get regularized in ICICI Bank as such. Now, these are some of the pre-shipment finance advantages with ICICI Bank as to why you should come to ICICI Bank for pre-shipment finance. Number one, Insta EPC facility. Yes, so this is basically the word itself is actually indicating that your EPC is instant over here. Your export packing credit in INR is instant over here. The disbursement in your current account is instant as soon as you give a request to the branch or as soon as you give a request on trade online system of ICICI Bank, your account gets credited in less than 5 minutes. This is what we call as instant real-time credit of EPC disbursement process in your current account. So this facility is given to only ICICI Bank customers who are having sanctioned limits with ICICI Bank as such. We do not charge any prepayment penalty as such for any PCFC prepayment up to 30 days prior to the date of maturity. So that means if you have your PCFC due date of say your 31st of the month, between 1st to your 31st of the month, you can repay or you can prepay your PCFC without paying any prepayment penalty as such. Quick prepayment of packing credit to branches. Yes, we have now enabled our branches. We have empowered them to conduct these repayment transactions and do not send any request at the central level. So at the branch level itself, the powers have been given to our staff to repay your packing credit so that you can take additional. No need to come to the branch with your documents as such. So the initiation of your transactions, whatever transaction you are initiating, that is online. The management of that particular transaction is also online. The tracking of the transaction is also online. So you don't need to really have any physical documents at your disposal, or you don't need to visit the branch to get your pre-shipment finance transactions done from ICICI Bank as such. And you have advisors. We are giving you advisors for every transaction what you're doing from ICICI Bank as such. Yes, so Fifth point is interest servicing from EFC account for PCFC interest. So if you have a substantial amount of interest going from your account for PCFC loans, and you need your EFC account to be used, then we are allowing that to you on case-to-case basis. Yes, waiver of submission of purchase order. So we have seen many customers are facing this particular issue of submitting the purchase orders. They may not have a purchase order for every disbursement. It may be a big order, but it might go in tranches. So they might not have for every disbursement one uh, document which they might not able to ask from the customer abroad. So for such customers and for such good track record customers, we have this particular facility of waiver of submission of purchase orders for packing credit transactions as such. We just take an order statement from them. That's it. Yes, so we covered this about pre-shipment advices and the government interest equalization scheme, which we have covered in detail in our past slide as such. So this Insta EPC facility. Now, under Insta EPC facility, we do not charge any single penny to you. This particular facility comes to you with no additional charge and no application from your side. We do not need any additional application from your side, and we do not charge you for this particular facility. You just have to inform your branch that you want to have Insta EPC facility. So depending upon your profile, depending upon certain checks at our end, we will be able to make you eligible for Insta EPC facility from ICICI Bank. So these are some eligibility criteria for Insta IPC facility. So PCFC presently is not allowed. Only INR transactions are allowed. Only running account facility transactions are allowed from Insta IPC facility. RBI caution listed customers are not allowed. If you have a pendency of purchase order submission, that means if you have not submitted your purchase order beyond 30 days from the date of disbursement, then this particular facility is not allowed because this is regulatory compliance as such. So this is important. LEI number should be there if you have a sanctioned limit of more than 7.5 crores. And this facility presently is not there for diamond exporters, service exporters, and sub-suppliers as such. So that's it from my side. Thanks for your patience as such, and I think it's over to you, Mr. Gupta.
Thank you, Mr. Santosh Pandey, sir. I think you have covered very nicely. So ICICI Bank is providing the pre-shipment and post-shipment what Mr. Pandey also. Beside that, they are also helping their credit guarantee to mitigate risk associated with international trade. This is additional facility which the ICICI Bank is also providing to you. So he also mentioned about the interest equalization scheme, where they are debiting every month to a packing credit account, and you can say same day they are giving a interest of 3% rebate. I think this is a great thing which ICICI Bank is doing it. So thank you very much. Lastly, I am coming to Shri Gaurang sir again. Gaurang sir, you are covered very nicely all incentive everything. So you can tell something, any advice to our entrepreneur who are listening to you, how they can get all the incentive, and if any need be, they can approach you also for any help for that. Any advice to them?
Sir, my advice is to maybe do not miss out the opportunity. India is being recognized globally, so this is the right time for India to maybe make their presence everywhere in every product, every item, every country. Do enhance your knowledge to grow, because ultimately, if the overall trade grows, we are also going to grow. Our economy is going to grow, and if the economy grows, definitely our upliftment will also be there. The other part is increasing the knowledge. So maybe the entrepreneurs, their employees, everybody should be put to increase the knowledge so that you do not miss out on any of these things. Maybe we come across people who say, sir, we don't know how to, whether Rostel is available or not, or whether the drawback is available or not. We have already exported, but after 1 year you come to know and then the time is now gone. We have also had people who were borrowing a limit of maybe 2 crores or 3 crores from a bank. But later on, they came to know that they were not getting IES itself, interest subsidy. Now, that time, interest subsidy was 5% was a big amount. 2-3 करोड़ के ऊपर 5% नहीं मिल रहा था. So the knowledge is important. Attend sessions wherever available. Train your people, train yourself. Don't miss the bandwagon and avail all the incentives from the government. At least that will support your baseline also somewhere or the other. So this is all what I have to say, and maybe best wishes for the happy exporting all through the years. And
Thank
look
you.
forward to more such sessions with AFI and Resurgent.
Thank you, Gaurav sir. Now I request Mr. Santosh Pandey sir. Although he explained everything about the ICICI Bank, any last word he want to say something to the entrepreneur, Mr. Pandey?
Yes, definitely.
Sorry,
So,
sir.
yeah, thanks, Gupta ji. So, I think here regarding the interest equalization scheme as such, so we can see the the stance of the government in terms of the of implementing the interest equalization scheme. We have seen now it is not available for merchant exporters as such. It is only for the manufacturer and exporters and MSME segment as such. So I would suggest our exporters to slowly and steadily think about looking at finance for packing credit in foreign currency also, to be on the safe side. As this I know this scheme is not going to go away. But yes, we can see the intention of the government also over here, where the cap has been limited. It has been lowered now. So I suggest our exporters to look at PCFC or packing credit in foreign currency as such, in USD, Euro, or GBP, as per their purchase orders what they are having. Yeah, I think that's it from my side presently.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Pandey sir. I think this webinar is going to prove to be useful for the exporters, because on the request of the exporter and feedback which I received in last webinar, where we have done for the export credit also. So we have tried to have this program under the ICICI Bank. So I think it can be fruitful, and if you want, you can avail the services of ICICI Bank for that. So in the end, I am thankful to my off team, who is not visible in the screen, like Mr. Rajan, who is the director of the association, and Mr. Vishwas Chaudhary, Mr. Ankit Singh, Ayush Chaudhary, and Lokesh and Devashish. These people are putting their hard efforts to invite the people. More than 500 sessions with us, beside the electronic media. We are thankful to all my team members. And further, being a research in India, we are a merchant banker. We are also starting the IPOs for the SME sector shortly. And we are conducting a DPR. We can prepare the DPR draft project report. We can prepare. We can doing all the technical viability study for almost all the banks. If any services you want to avail from the research in India, you are welcome for that. So I think there is no question from the evidence, from the entrepreneurs, from the participants who feel that this webinar, only by request to you, please send your feedback to us. Because last time we also requested, and we are getting so many feedback, where they are appreciating the ICICI Bank and association for holding such type of webinar. So I request you to, in writing or otherwise also, you can give a telephone also. So please send your feedback to us. And any webinar you feel that with the ICICI Bank, you feel that next webinar, what topic we should select, please also give us feedback. This can be beneficial to the attendee. With this word, I close the session. I am thankful to my main speaker, Shri Gaurav sir, who is always obliging us and people are liking him. So people are asking him, the next program will be there, when the Gaurav sir will be there. So thank you very much, sir, for always obliging us. And I am so thankful to Santosh Pandey sir, who has given a very important information to the entrepreneur. I think it is also important aspect where the interest is being credited on the same day when you are debiting. I think it is also addition to my knowledge. Thank you very much, Mr. Pandey sir. So we feel that next time we also meeting the new chapter. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Gupta sir. Thank you for this
Thanks.
leading another important session. And at the end of the day, I can say wish you very happy and prosperous Diwali to all the speakers and all our members. Stay safe and stay celebrations of Diwali in a very nice manner. Thank you all. Sir. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you very much.
Thanks. Happy Diwali to
Wish you
everybody.
happy Diwali to everybody.
Everybody.
Thank you, sir.